So, you want to stretch your ears, but you're wondering, if I change my mind, can I shrink my lobes back down to a normal size? The answer is maybe. A quick primer. The gauge system is what's primarily used to measure smaller piercings in body jewelry. It can be a bit tricky because the larger the gauge number, the smaller the size. As a starting point, most basic ear piercings are 20 gauge or 18 gauge, with 20 gauge being the smallest size. Our lobes are somewhat elastic, and the size of our piercings can fluctuate a little, sometimes resulting in minor shrinkage if you haven't worn jewelry in them for a while. But there is a point of no return, where even if your stretched lobes shrink a little, they likely won't return to looking like regular pierced ears. All bodies are different, but most agree that this point of no return is somewhere within the 4 gauge to 0 gauge range, or 5 millimeters to 8 millimeters. That means that if you stretch somewhere in the 16 to 6 gauge range, or 1.2 millimeters to 4 millimeters, you might still be able to let your lobes shrink back down close to their pre-stretched size. You might not get back down to exactly 20 gauge, but most will at least have the appearance of basic ear piercings and be able to accommodate stud earrings. However, the 4 gauge to 0 gauge range is where most people see an inability to shrink back to a much smaller size. Of course, everyone's body is different, and your mileage may vary depending on an array of factors.